Good morning, everyone. Beautiful morning here in Moncton, New Brunswick. Start of the Codiac clash on the ice. There's no name bars. I'm going to do my best to announce it. No promises. Pass intercepted. Brought in by Rush. Shot wide of the goalie. Picked up in the corner by Kraft Dinner. Sorry, still figuring out my angles here. Picked up down front by Malik. They're going to battle for it at center ice in the neutral zone. Rush brings it in. Shot blocked. They're not quite able to get it out of the zone. Picked up by Mateo. He's easy for me to recognize. He's going to rush it in. He loses it. It's tapped away. He comes back, and it's picked up by Malik Leblanc. Malik goes for a pass, unable to get it through. It comes out of the zone. That is Brody with that. He's going to whip it back. It gets picked off. They're going to bring it back in. Shot on net and a goal. That is a goal by, let's see if I can figure out the number. Number 16, that's Henri Savoie. They're going to bring it into the zone. That's Ben Richard with the puck. He's going to bring it in. Shot. It's deflected wide and high. Picked up by a Rush player in the corner. Rush is going to regroup behind their net. Chased down by Ben Richard. Rush is going to bring it out. Picked up by Ben again. Stick by Ben Balpin. Over to Ben Richard. Back over to Mika. Mika's taken down. No call on the play. Phil Maltin with the puck over to Ben Richard. Ben's going to go for a toe drag around. He gets picked. They're coming through the neutral zone. Ezra Bellafleur from the other team gets it picked off from him. Mika with the puck. He's going to send it over to Phil. No, he goes for the shot, and it's a goal. Second goal scored by Mika Privé. They're going to line up at center ice. Face off won by Kraft Dinner. That's Brody Smith. He's going to wheel it in. He's going to try and split all three. He's not quite able to. Picked up by Malik Leblanc. That's not Malik Leblanc. That's Leo Hall. Oh, just kept in there on the line. Malik with it now. Trippy goes down. No call on the play. It's hard cleared for an ice. Just wide of the net. They're not calling it an icing, though. Picked up by Rush. Deflected wide by Brielle. Sorry, still working my angles here. It is popped out of the zone. Rush picks it up. They're going to regroup with it. Chased down by Leo. Leo not quite able to lay a stick on it. Picked up by Louis. Louis goes for the clear. It's going to deflect off, and it's going to go right wide. They're going to call that an icing. It's going to go all the way down the other side to the right-hand side of Brielle and net. She's yet to see a shot. Oh, no, she did see a shot. That's right. Face-off one by Kraft Dinner. Kraft Dinner goes for the pass, unable to complete. Picked up by Rush as they try to get it out of, as Kraft Dinner tries to get it out of the zone, unable to. Slap shot by Ben Baltin, doesn't quite make the loop like he was intending it to. Ben's going to go for a bit of a rush here. It gets blocked by the linesman. Ben Richard with the puck going around the back of the net. Pressure from Rush. They pick it up and clear it. Referee in the road again. We'll take it this time. That is Mika Privé with the puck. He goes wide around the defender, pass over, unable to get hands on that stick, just the puck the way we wanted it to. They go for a slap shot clear, it comes out of the zone, picked up by Ben Baltin down below. He goes a dump in for a change. Phil Maltin gives a chase. Picked up by the rush player. They're going to go for a change as well. Backhand dump out, picked up by Brodie Smith. He's going to wheel this in. Pass up. Pass back, not able to complete. And it escapes the zone. Shot towards the net, blocked by Matteo. Mateo's going to take it in. He's going to wheel in closer and walk with a miss of a shot. He was going high. It didn't come off right. Over to Leo. Over to Louis. Louis takes a shot on just wide of the net. Picked up and back by Malik. It gets picked off by Rush. They get it out of the zone. Kraft Dinner picks it up. It's over to Malik from Louis. They get it chipped into the zone even further. Pass out front, didn't make it. Picked up by Rush. Brodie's going to give a chase. Not able to. It's picked up by Rush at center ice. That's Adams for Rush. Pass back. Unable to complete. Pass out to the front. Shot towards the net. Blocked by Brielle. Rebound did not go onto the stick like they'd hoped it would. Can't tell who's doing what down there, but they're doing something. There we go. It comes back into the Kraft Inner zone, and it escapes. And it's not going to be quite offside. They dump it in. Ben Baltin picks it up. He's going to wheel front of the net. And goes around one of the Rush players. Pass over. Pops on the stick of Phil Maltin. Not able to get right where he wanted it to. Chase around the back of the net. Ben Baltin picks it up. He brings it back. Pass out to Phil. Phil unable to put a stick on it. Shot towards the net. It's wide. Rush picks up the puck. Kraft Dinner picks up the deflection. That's Henri with it. He gets it chipped away. It goes into the back of the net. Picked up by Kraft Dinner. That's Mika that had the puck. We're trying to figure out what's going on here. Little passes back and forth. Ben sends it towards the boards. Picked up by Rush. Rush goes for a big stretch pass. They're unable to complete. They're going for an icing. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner, picked up by Rush. Towards the net. Brielle goes for the freeze. It comes from her own player. Face-off to the glove side of Brielle. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Picked up by Louis. Louis going to get it out of the zone. Picked up by Brodie Smith. Brodie's going to split the D. He's going in. He's got help. Brodie gets taken out. Picked up by Malik. Malik sends it out. Oh, and it's in! That's a goal by Leo Hall. That's number 3 of the day. We got a good soundtrack today. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Picked up by Ben Richard. Over to Phil. It goes through Phil's stick. Chipped out backhand. Picked up by Henri as it enters the defensive zone. Pass out to Phil Maltin. Phil with a pass over to Ben Richard. Ben dips around. And we're offside. Face off just outside of the rush zone, right in front of the timekeeper. Won by Kraft Dinner. Kraft Dinner with the pass over to Mika. Mika's offside, doesn't touch it. Louis is going to give it a chase. Pops it back out of the zone. A little bit of pressure from Phil Martin. Picked up by Phil. Over to Rush. Rush goes for a dump in. It's towards the net. Mateo picks it up off of Brielle's pad. He's going to rush it. He gets a chip taken away from him. That's Ezra Bellafleur. Not quite able to keep it in the zone. It's a chase to the corner. It's not going to go all the way. Louis picks it up. Mateo plays block. I don't know what we're calling here. Interference. Interference on 81. That is the softest call I have ever seen. Face-off's going to be to the left-hand side of Brielle. Won by Kraft Dinner. They rocket it down the ice. They're going to give chase. That's Malik going in hard. He actually almost picked it up. He's going to battle for it. They've regrouped into the corner there. That is Leo Hall. He passes it back to Malik. Malik keeps the puck. Back to Leo. Leo goes for a diving block. He's able to put hands on it, but the rush pulls it out in the end. It's a 3-on-2 here. That's Ben and Ari, blocked by Brielle. They send it out to their defense. Dump it back in. They're going to give chase. Did not clear the zone as intended. And it makes its way out. They're going to dump it back in. They're going to have to regroup. Ben Baltin with the puck in behind the net. He's going to rush it out by the looks of it. Oh, big shot. Pass towards Brody Smith. Rush gets caught on a line, gets us caught on a line change. And they're going to get that out of the zone. Ben Baltin with the heel of his stick while he's on the ice. Brody's going to lay chase to this. Picked up by Louis. Louis. Louis dumps it in. It's in the back of the net. Brody's going to lay chase again. Pass by Rush. Deflection back to a pass. 30 seconds left in the power play for Rush. Blocked by Brielle. 9 seconds left. Goes wide of the net. Ben Richard with the puck. I thought he was going to go for the pass. Mateo switches off as he comes out. Shot on net. Blocked by Brielle. We rim it out the boards. It's going to keep going. And by the looks of it, it's going to very much keep going. Mika giving chase. He gets to it. And they're going to call a hooking on that. Pretty soft call if you ask me again, but I'm not a referee, so what do I know? Minute 20 left here in the first period. 3-0 for Kraft Dinner. Shots on net are 6 for Rush, 4 for Kraft Dinner. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. They go to rim it. It does not make it out. Good deflection by Malik to get that away. Slap shot picked up by that is Leo. They run into each other. No call. Shot towards Brielle. She takes it right in the chest with a block. It stays put. I think she was going to try and play it, but it did not happen. Minute 33 left in the power play for Rush. Face-off won by Rush. They shoot it wide of the net. Chased into the corner by Kraft Dinner. Not able to get it out of the zone. Big slap shot. Brielle with the save. Rush picks it back up again. Going for the screen. It gets blocked. Chipped out from behind the net. Mateo gives a shot. Body contact. Don't know if you saw that. They're cheering hard. "19 seconds left in the first period. Rush picks it up. They're going to try and get out of the zone. There is I don't know what happened there. A little bit of body contact. Everybody went down. Ben with the puck with a trip. Shot towards the net. No call. 6 seconds left in the first period. Out to the point. Oh, and it escapes the zone. And that's the end of the first period. All right, start of the second period. Face off at center ice. 4 players, still power play for Rush. Looks like Kraft Dinner wins that face off. They're gonna slap shot it. It gets blocked by the Rush player or the referee, not sure which one. Both were there. They bring it into the zone. It gets picked off by Kraft Dinner. That's Brody Smith with it. He loses it and picks it back up. He's gonna pass it over. Leo Hall with it. Two of them are going to work on that one Rush player. Gets tipped back out. 13 seconds left in the power play. Chip towards the blue line. Doesn't make it out. Picked off by Avi. Avi's going to chip it off the boards. Picked up by Rush. Sent over to the other Rush player. Looking for a pass. Unable to get it out. Picked up by Kraft Dinner. Big stretch pass, not able to complete. Penalty's over. It's 5-on-5 hockey again. Kraft Dinner with good pressure in order to get that cough up to happen. Ben Baltin behind the net with the puck. He gets a little bit of a crush against the boards, 2-on-1. He gets a little bit more help. Brody picks it up off of him, and Mika's going to go for it and doesn't quite get it through the other player's legs. It gets dumped back in. Rush goes for a line change. Adi's going to chase it into the corner. Adi's going to let for a regroup. Pass over to Phil Malpin. Oh, almost picked off by a Rush. Ben Richard's going to bring it in. Ben, almost completes. That would have been a beautiful backdoor goal. Louis with the puck over towards Mika. Mika wasn't right in the spot. Mateo gives chase. Picks it up. Mika's got a one-on-one here. He goes around and backhand off the goalie, off the crossbar. Rush comes out with the puck. They go for a pass to nothing. Nobody home over there on the other side. Phil gives chase. He causes an error for Rush. Mika with the puck. Shot towards the net, and it's blocked by the goalie. Face off won by Kraft Dinner. Back to Mateo Scott. Mateo goes for a shot on net. It gets gloved down. Malik gets taken out in front. I think, no, that was Brody. Shot by Louis towards the net. It goes wide. Brody not able to lay a stick on it. Back to defense. Oh, it gets pumped. It's a 3-on. Chased down in the back by Leo Hall. Two of them go down. Picked back up by Malik. Malik's in the corner. Saucer pass, more like a shot out front. Fake slap shot. It gets picked up. Leo's going to go for a change. And Ben Baltan is going to give pressure and picks it up in front. 8.5 minutes left in the second period. Picked back up by Ben. They run into each other. Phil Maltin over in the corner. Picked up on the blue line by Ben Richard. Ben Richard with a shot deflected above the net by the goalie. Into the corner, rush in behind the net with the puck. There's a penalty by Rush. Looks like an unsportsman. Not sure what happened. It was behind the play. Number 11 from Rush is getting it. Big shot from the defensive line. Phil Maltin giving pressure in the corner. Picked up by Rush. Kraft Dinner on a power play. Puck lost in the corner. Picked up by Ben Baltin. He's going to give pressure on it. They cough it out of the zone. Big chase. Deflected away. Ben picks it back up. He's going for the wheel. It gets blocked by the Rush defender. It escapes the zone. Miko with it. It's an offside. Face off won by Rush. They bring it into the zone, deflected off of Brody's body. So gonna bring it behind the net. Pass out front. It gets caught up in the defender's skates. Matic able to keep it in. Pass out front. It hops over. What a bounce. Kept in by Louis. Louis sends it back around, rims it in behind the net. It's gonna get picked up by Matic. Pass out front, right to a Rush player. Oh, and it was almost kept in. It's offside. I forgot to play. Face off just outside of the Rush zone here. Still 39 seconds left on the Kraft Dinner power play. Brody picks it up. Leo Hall with it. Over to Matic. Over and over the stick. Not able to complete. They're going to go for a clear. It's going to make it foot race between Mateo and Ezra Bellafleur. He's the only name I know on that side just because it was a fun name to say. Mateo's got the puck. He's going to rush it. He's got all kinds of help. Punches it up to Brody. Brody's going to go wide. He's joined by everybody. Shot on goalie. Face off won by, we're going to go with Rush on that. They're going to dump it out of the play. It's an ice because their penalty expired after that. Back down the ice again. Face off to the glove side of the Rush goalie. Big shot by Ben. It is absolutely eaten up by the Rush forward. Picked off the Rush stick. That's a hard angle here. Brought over. Mika picks it up off of that pass. Trying to get around. Over to Phil. Ish. Picked up by Rush in front of the net. They bring it behind. They wrap with it. Pressure in the corner over here. Out to Ben. Bartin. Ben dumps it back in behind the net. Picked up on the other side by Mika. Out towards Ben Richard. Out to Ari. Ari almost loses it. He's just able to keep it in. Tied up. Mika out. Shot. Another shot. And they call a quick whistle on it. Looks like they're giving an unsportsman to Phil Martin and a Rush player. It is going to be concurrent penalty, so they'll say 5-on-5 for this. They'll get out of the box around 2 minutes and 42 on the whistle after. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Kept in the zone. Brought out of the zone by Rush. Over to defensive partner Mateo. He's going to rush it in. Pass almost completed. It's an odd man rush here, 3-on-2. That's the I think Mateo's got something going on with his blades. Every time he steps on the right spot when he goes into the rush, he falls. Face off just outside of the Kraft Dinner zone, right in front of their bench. Shot all the way down. Picked up by Ben right in front of the net, Ben Bartin. He wraps around the back. Chip off the board. It comes out of the zone and goes right through their defender. It's going to be a chase down. Mika's on it. Shot going for a wide on the net, and it hit the side of the net. It was almost bad for them. They're going to bring it back up. Mika's able to poke that away. Other player didn't go down. Might have gotten a little lucky on that. There's just under a minute left in that in the concurrent penalty. Pass over to Mika. He's going to go wide. Shot on net towards net. It is blocked. Stick down by the Rush player. Ben brings it up. Mika with a shot. And it is somehow blocked by the Rush goalie. Second whistle from the referee. About 30 seconds left in that concurrent penalty down there for Phil. Face-off's going to be to the blocker side of the Rush goalie. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Shot deep into the corner. Sent out front. Picked up by Rush. 3-on-2. Good stick work there. They should be offside, but they're not apparently. Rush player taken down. Pass over to Ben Richard. Ben's got the puck. He's going to turn around. Pass over to Ben Baltin. Shot on net, just over. Ben Richard picks it back up in the corner. He takes and chips it in. It gets through all three of their players. Ben Richard picks it up in the corner. Goes through Louis. Odd bounce right over his stick. Picked up by Ben Baltin. He's going to loop around on this line change by Rush. He's going to rush it in hard. Shot on net. It just goes wide towards the net. Picked up by Rush in behind the net. Defensive for Kraft Dinner goes for a change. Rush brings it into the zone. Louis got a stick on it. Shot on. Big save by Brielle. Another one by Brielle. Sorry, I'm not even on it. Brody with the puck. He brings it all the way up. Out front of the net. It gets picked off by a Rush player. They're going to battle for it in the corner. It's a 2-on-1. They're blowing it down. Nothing called. There's shoving happening. They're going to get They're going to get something out of this. Not a misconduct, but an enforcement. Looks like both of them are going. Looks like this will last until about 11:10 into the third period. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Picked up by Ben Richard. Ben sends it over to Mika. Mika misses that one-timer. Phil gives it a chase into the corner. They clear. Not quite. It gets picked up. Sent over to Matteo. Matteo goes for the shot towards the net. It gets blocked. Second shot, and it's a save. Face-off's going to be to the left-hand side of the Rush goalie. 48.2 seconds left in the second period. Face-off won by Rush. Rush chips it out of the zone. Picked up by Kraft Dinner defense. They go for a stretch pass. It gets picked. Able to get it off of it. That's Ben Richard with the puck. Picked up by Ben Baltin. He gets tripped. No call. Oh, there is a call on it. That's number 7 for Rush. Face-off's going to be to the right-hand side of the Rush goalie. 26.3 seconds left in the second period. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Back to Matteo. Matteo goes with a big shot towards the net, right on the goalie. It stopped, and that whistled down. 21.5 seconds left in the second period. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Almost picked off by Rush. Picked up by Matteo as it's coming out of the zone. He's going to walk it in, take a shot towards the net. It gets deflected higher. They're all tied up there. Big shot down the ice. Rush going for a change, but it's the end of the period. Minute 34 left on the Rush penalty as we come into the third period. Last 12 minutes of this game, 3-0 for Kraft Dinner. Looks like we still have the concurrent penalties in there too for unsportsmen. If I remember right, they come out at about 11:10. Face-off pushed forward by Kraft Dinner, picked up by Rush, picked up by that's Henri. Henri sends it over to Brody. Brody up to Leo. Leo gets a heel of a stick on it, sends it back to Brody, picked up by the Rush player in the corner. He brings it back around the net. Big pressure put on him. He's able to get it out of the zone in a diving attempt. Looks like there's another penalty going on here. 11:27 left. It is Ben Richard's eating it. I'm assuming it's a tripping or a hooking. These boxes are getting a little full down there. Benches are getting sparse. Face off to the left-hand side of Brielle. Face off one by Kraft Dinner. It's a 4-on-4 right now with 2 people in each box. It comes out of the zone. They're going to send it in. They're trying to kill off some of their penalty here. Big stretch pass down. I think they think that we're shorthanded, but we're not. They called that no ice. Rush is able to get it over the zone. Pressure put on. Shot almost on net. Brings off the post. Picked up by Mateo. He goes for the stretch. It goes through everybody. It's going to be like right on net almost. Not quite there. They're going to call that icing. 12 seconds left in the Rush penalty. The concurrent penalties are now cleared out. All that's left is the 2 on the board. Face off to the left side of Brielle. 10:37 left in the third. Face off one by Kraft Dinner, brought it behind the net. Big pass. I think they were trying to clear it again. They're now officially shorthanded for another 56 seconds. Can't quite get there. There's the angle. Brought towards the net by Mika. It's a 5-on-4 now for Rush. Rush is going to try and drive it in. Mika's given all kinds of pressure. They're trying to create an offside situation here. Phil Maltin with the dump towards the back. Goes off the heel of the goalie's stick. Deflected into the corner. 31 seconds left in the Kraft Dinner penalty. Rush is going to try and make something out of this. Then Maltin causes deflection. Offside. Face-off will be on the Rush bench side of the ice. Oh, it's not. It's right in front of the Kraft Dinner bench. That makes way more sense. Face-off won by Rush. Picked up by the feet of the Rush defender. They're going to try and make something out of it here. Louis chips it back out of the zone. Rush stays deep. Leo with the pick. He goes around almost. Pick back up. Shot almost towards the net. Goes off of Leo's skates. Into the corner. Malik with it there. He gets taken down. Looks like the other player fell and kind of took him with him. Stretch pass over to the far side. 2-on-2 situation with a third defender coming in here. Brody. Chipped out of the zone by Louis. Leo Hall with the puck. He's going to move it over to Malik. Malik puts it towards the net. Face off to the right-hand side of the Rush goalie. Face off won by Rush. Picked up by Mika. Mika's going to walk it in. Over to Phil. Phil on his right hand. Blocked by the goalie. I think I stopped counting shots at some point in there. Phil with good pressure. Up to Mika. Mika skates the line. Back to Ben. He loses it. It's back to full strength hockey here. Chipped back towards the zone by Rush. Picked up by Henri. Henri is going to keep going. Pass over to Ben. It's a 3-on-3 rush here. Shot towards the net by Phil. It's a little wide. Picked up by Mika. Mika sends it out to Phil. Phil takes a shot. It gets gloved high of the net. Deflected. Ben giving pressure on the other side. Back to D. That's Louis with it. He takes a shot towards the net. Phil goes down. Big shot by Mika. Comes out from behind the net. Rush is doing a line change. Picked up by Louis. Louis going to skate with a little bit. His pass is deflected by the Rush player. Mika with it. He's going to run it back in. He's going to take a shot and probably it gets deflected wide. Mika's going to go for his change. Deflection off the boards. 1-on, 2-on-1. Shot, it's a goal. With that, it is 3-1 for Kraft Dinner. Been a little while since Brielle had a shot. She might be cold out there. Face off at center ice. Mini egg. That's not mini egg. That's Kraft Dinner comes out with the puck. Over to Brody. Brody's going to walk it in. Not able to make something of it. Malik's getting crushed into the corner there. Picked up by Leo. Leo loses it, gets it back. Rush goes for the pass. Gets lost in their forward's feet. Shot towards the net. Blocked by Brielle, and that's a clock stop. 6:33 left in the third period. Face-off's going to be to the right-hand side of Brielle. In the Kraft Dinner zone. Face off one by Kraft Dinner. Phil with the puck. Back to Henri. Henri behind the net. Goes for a pass up. He finds Phil. Phil finds Mika. Mika finds Ben. Ben toe drags around. Picked up by Mika again. Shot towards the net, blocked by the Rush goalie. Phil sends it out on the far side. Picked up by Ben Richard. Ben fans on his pass, and it gets picked up by Rush. Backhanded shovel back down the ice. Sent back out by Ben Balpin. Mika Privé comes out of that with the puck, sends it over to Phil. Phil with a shot on net and a goal. What a shot! Big shot by Phil Martin from the top of the circle. It goes in. Face off at center ice. It's Leo taking it with McCarthy on the other side. I just read the name off the back of the jersey. It's a lot easier when they're brighter colors. Rush takes it into the zone. Shot deflected wide. Picked up by Rush again. They go for a big stretch pass back to their point. Block shot by Mateo. Uses his skate to get something out of it. That was a pass that did not find its home. They're kind of waved the icing on it. Pass out towards the front. Picked off by Rush. Back by KD. Out to Mateo. He chips it back in. Deflects it funny off of Leo. Rush comes out with it. Rush goes for the pass. They fall and doesn't actually get where they wanted it to go. They chip it, slap it in the back of the net, picked up by Mateo. He's going to dipsy-do around over there. Winds up losing it over to Rush. Bump from behind. Pass over to Brody. Brody's going to go wide. He's basically all by himself. Shot on net and goal. That's a 5-1 hockey game right now. 20 shots to 11. I'm assuming I didn't miss any. Probably did. 4 minutes, 39 seconds left in the third period. Face-off won by Rush. Picked up by Kraft Dinner. Ben Richard with the puck over to Phil Martin. Comes off of Phil's stick. He goes for the pass. Ben's not there. Pass up to front man. I think his name's Kingston. 2-on-1 in there. Kingston goes down. He gets joined by a friend to help out. He gets chipped out of the zone. They're going to race for it. Ben's going to apply pressure. More pressure there. It comes out of the zone. It's a 3-on-2. Ben Baltin forcing wide. It almost picked up by the defender. Into the corner. It goes wide. And Kraft Dinner with the puck off of Mika's skates. Mika's going to rush it in. Phil's joining him. Shot on net. Saved by the goalie. 3 minutes, 41 seconds left here in the third period in this opening game for Kraft Dinner. I assume it's Rush's opening game too. I really don't know that. It's just too early to not be. Face-off won by Kraft Dinner. Mateo with the puck on the blue. I think that was deflected super wide of the net. Leo goes and gives chase, comes out towards the blue. Mateo's going to chip it back in. It gets skated off of Matic's stick. Mateo with the puck. That's Leo that picks it up off of that. Mateo was losing it. Rush picks it up. Gets blocked by Kraft Dinner. Somehow Kraft Dinner keeps that. That's Brody out of all of that. I don't know how. Out front, shot on net, and they rip it. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the third period. It is 6-1 right now for Kraft Dinner. Face-off picked up by Rush, then Mika picks it off of him. Mika puts it through the defender's legs towards the net. They deflect it wide, right back to Mika. It gets into the goalie's pads, comes out, back to defense. Shot on net and goal by Louis. Sorry. Yep, that is Louis. .245 left in the third period. Face off at center ice. Face off won by Kraft Dinner, picked up by Rush. Ben Baltin with the puck, passes it out to other Ben. Ben's gonna go for the pass over to Mika. It gets nabbed by the Rush player. They send it up to front man. Phil's gonna give chase, picked up by Ben Baltin, defense. Not quite able to get it out of the zone. Pass towards the front of the net. Nobody home, picked up by Kraft Dinner. Kraft Dinner chips it out. That is Henri. Phil picks it over to Ben. They keep that onside somehow. Ben with a shot towards the net, gloved down by the Rush goalie. 2:05 left here in the third period. Gonna change the angle here a little bit. My back is killing me. Shot on net by Ben. It is stopped by their goalie. 1:58 left here. No, that's not working for me either. Face off to the left-hand side of the Rush goalie in their zone. Won by Kraft Dinner, sent towards the net, blocked by their goalie right on the stick. Go for a wraparound and it gets in. Minute and 50 seconds left in the third period. Score of 8-1. That's spread at this point. Goals from this point forward don't count the standings. Also show them on the screen if there's any more. Face off pushed forward by Rush. Kraft Dinner winds up walking in with it. That's Ben Richard with the puck. Shot towards the net right off the goalie's mask. Comes out to the Rush defense, or forward I should say. Ben loses an edge, I'm going to say. Sends it to the corner. Mika chases it. Pressure put on by Ben. Rush is going to go for a big stretch pass to the other side. Phil comes out with it. Looks like the referee knocked over Louis. Pass over to this side. Ben giving chase. He's kind of taken down. They're not going to call much of anything at this point. Mika with the puck. Backhand saved by their goalie. 1 minute left in the third period. It comes out of the zone. It's brought back in. Rush with the puck. It is picked off by Mika. He's going to give it another one. Shot just wide of the net. Picked up by Phil. Out to Ben. Ben walks around. And it almost comes out. Ben's going to try this again. Gets it off of one of the foot of Rush. They get it out of the zone. Picked up by Louis McDonald. He's going to go for a little walk. Wow. Everybody checks back up. He keeps the puck, sends it forward, puts it right on the tape of Ben Richard. 20 seconds left in the third period. Ben's going to walk it in. Going wide. Shot towards the net, but behind. Looking for a rebound off of the goalie's back, and then it didn't happen. Oh, collision. That gives Rush an opportunity for only 2-1. And with that, that's the end of the third period and the final of the game. Your final is 8-1. Teams are going to shake hands. And our next game is at 3:30 on the IGA surface at the Uniplex. I'll stay tuned. I'll let you know who gets player of the game on both sides.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Are you doing all the games or just this game?
Just this one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the best perch in the house up here, though.
I know that. Do you have Wi-Fi?
There is Wi-Fi. I tether though.
Oh, okay.
And I got like 4.5 bars to like 5G.
Oh, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I find sometimes you get like full Wi-Fi, but the internet sucks on the Wi-Fi, so it's like better off just tethering.
Careful of this. It hurts.
Oh, I think I hit that last year a couple times. but with the what you do.
I have one. I don't use it.
Yeah, I didn't like last year. I want rewatching it, but it's like stuck on like an empty zone and like that.
Or it decides to follow the referee.
Yeah.